Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. Thank you for joining me, and I am sorry I am a few minutes late. Unfortunately, I scheduled this show for 8:30, and since I am a newbie here, I did not know how to uh, do my start my video. Um, yeah, so live and learn. I'm gonna have to figure that part out when I schedule something. How do I start the video? Anyways, thank you guys for jumping on. For those who are here, for those who aren't that will watch later. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Um, I want to thank everybody once again for watching my content. And hey, let's get right into it. All right, guys. So, the elephant in the room. Let's start with this right away. Get this out of the way. Cole Beasley. Um, so here's my thinking of it. I don't do politics. I don't do religion on this show. This is a sports show. This is a Bills Mafia show. But this has to do with sports and this has to do with the Buffalo Bills. So I am going to talk about it. Um, and I hope I don't offend anyone by doing this you know, because here's the deal, you guys. A lot of people's views, they don't align with other people's views. And some people get very offended with that. So when Cole Beasley goes on Twitter and he talks about the vaccine, not getting it, he speaks his mind. I feel there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the problem. There's when it comes down to the whole vaccine, the whole just in general, the COVID-19 coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's a very touchy subject. That's what she said. Um, but it is. Um, there's really very few middle ground uh people. I'm very middle ground with it. I don't I'm not mad at someone that gets a vaccine. I'm not mad at somebody that still wears a mask when masks aren't mandated anymore. At least in a lot of states. My state, I live in Michigan. They lifted that. So it really depends on the store you go to. But I don't hate the person that's walking in there with a mask on. Um, so my point is a lot of people are not like me and they're not even like Cole Beasley, Cole Beasley, he's not on Twitter saying, anyone who's getting a vaccine is an idiot. You guys are all dumb. I'm not getting it. He's not saying that, right? He's just speaking his mind and saying, "Hey, I don't want to do it. I don't plan on doing it." And that's his right. But the problem is you don't have that. Most people are either left or very far right, right? Very far left, very far right with this. And you got a lot of crazy people that get really upset. And I'll be honest, this is why superstars like, in sports and movies, musicians, they kind of bite their tongue when it comes to politics, religion, um, race, whatever you want, the heavy hitting things that a lot of people stay away from because you got a lot of crazy people out there. Um, and I'm not saying someone's gonna kill Cole Beasley, but what I'm saying is it's happened where somebody did something wrong to this crazy delusional fan that went haywire and killed a musician that didn't his opinion didn't go with his opinion, so he got so upset. And I'm watching on Twitter and you know it's crazy to me how many people got so offended. I mean, thousands and thousands of tweets um, you know, they're either like and you got people fighting each other on Twitter because of this, right? So you got people like, you know, cut him, tell Cole Beasley he could retire tomorrow. Who cares? Fuck Cole Beasley. And then you got the other people, good way to go, Cole Beasley. Fuck that vaccine crap. I'm not going to get the vaccine, blah, 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 blah. So there's no one really, there's very few that are just like, hey, man, I get where he's coming from. That's his choice. And as of right now in the NFL, it is the player's choice. Okay. Now it's tricky because the rules are different for players that are getting vaccinated. And I hate to say it, but those are the rules. And Cole Beasley, he may not like them for now. Okay. But that's what it is. Right. So it sucks, but you're just going to have to go by the rules for now. That's how I see it. Okay. They're not forcing you to get the vaccine. They're not saying, Cole, you got to get the vaccine or you got to retire. Or Cole, you can't play a game, if you don't get the vaccine. They're not saying that, but they're saying, hey, there's a lot of restrictions if you don't. And I know it's a pain in the ass. I get it. And I get that you just went through a whole year of, getting tested every day or every other day, whatever it was, um, having to, you know, wear a mask everywhere you go or not be able to go out, enjoy dinner with your wife or kids, and you have to be super, super safe. Um, I get that you went through that and you probably don't want to do it again. But unfortunately, since you don't want to get vaccinated, which I personally listen, I'm gonna spread my air on, spread my dirty laundry in here, but I'm not vaccinated. And I don't think I will get it. At least until there's more studies on the vaccination, okay? Because I don't even think it's FDA approved yet. So, listen, and I don't know, but that's me and that's my right. And that's Cole Beasley's right. If he feels like he doesn't want to put that, you know, something in his body, that's his choice. And I don't think fans should get so angry over what he feels in life. And that's just anything in general, man. Like, you know, we all have our own way of living life. And just because he plays for, your team that you like to watch on Sundays and he goes and his decision it doesn't, you know, you don't agree with what he's saying, it's a football game. Relax. He doesn't live with you. You're not, he's not dating your daughter. So I'm done with that conversation. It's time to move on. But I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with this. Um, Listen, man, it's a football game. Okay. These guys are human, just like you. We all have our way of thinking, whether you agree or not. But it's okay at the end of the day, man. He's not hurting nobody. So stop with that, with the hating. And by the way, there was some cartoon guy or some famous guy. I don't know if he was famous, but a well-known guy that like bashed Cole Beasley, did this like ridiculous cartoon character about him. Um, Poor taste, but it is what it is. It is what it is. That's why I gotta tell you, man, he's best off. Like I almost feel like if he would have just you know, not said anything on Twitter, but maybe, maybe a reporter asked him a question, or even if he did a report, with a reporter and said that, it wouldn't have been such high drama. But since he did it on Twitter, it people on the computer are crazy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm on there. I'm a little crazy, but I ain't that. I'm not. There's people that are lunatics on there. So I kind of feel like he should stay clear of the Twitter thing because there's crazy people out there. Anyways, moving on. Josh Allen was ranked number 40 by PFF top 50 players going into 2021. Number 40. The runner up for the MVP, ranked 40th. No love. What does Rodney Dangerfield always say? I get no respect. He gets no respect. Zero. Lamar Jackson won the MVP. Yes, he won it. With, by the way, very similar numbers to Josh Allen's running up MVP in 2020. Actually, more yards passing with like 500 yards less running, but so what? They were very, very similar numbers. But Aaron Rodgers played a hell of a season last season. So, okay, he won it, but Josh Allen got some votes and he was runner up. In some people's eyes, he was the MVP. He does so much for this team, okay, that he's our goal line running back. He rushes the ball constantly. We game plan pretty much passing and running for him every game. He does everything for this team to make this team work, to make this team. He is the gear. Okay. So for them to put him at 40th is unbelievable. By the way, when Lamar Jackson won the MVP, they ranked him the following season on their top 50 and the top 10. But Josh Allen, the following season, after running runner up for MVP, it's 40th. Ridiculous. They talked to the guy from PFF, and he said the reason why we ranked him so low, and he should be lucky to even get number 40, which was unbelievable, is because he had a bad rookie season and he just became good. Okay. I love this debate. I love when people say Josh Allen was terrible his rookie season. They never bring up the fact that he had no receivers to throw to. They never bring up the fact that every quarterback that was drafted that rookie class wasn't lighting it up. Baker Mayfield did okay with a way better roster, way better receivers, and he did okay. Did he do great? No. Did he do it good? I guess. Lamar Jackson, he barely played. They used him as like a receiver here and there, trick plays, whatever, because they had a veteran quarterback in Flacco, which, by the way, was our plan when we brung in A.J. McCarron. But A.J. McCarron was so terrible that we traded him. And we thought Nate Peterman could hold the job for this terrible team that we threw out there. Zay Jones was our superstar wide receiver. We traded for Kelvin Benjamin, who was terrible, by the way, the year before. He didn't want to practice at all with Josh Allen. None of these receivers that Josh Allen played for his rookie season are even in the league right now. Kelvin Benjamin is trying to be a tight end. Zay Jones, I don't even think, maybe he's on a practice squad. Everybody else is out of the league. So, if you had any quarterback on that team at that time, they would have done probably the same exact thing that Josh Allen did. Okay. He was through in the fire and he came out just fine. His next season, 2019, we got some help. John Brown, Cole Beasley. What did Josh Allen do for this team? He got us to the playoffs. His second season with a better team. Was it a great team? No, it was building. The defense was very, very good, but the offense was still trying to find their rhythm and who they were, their identity, if you want to call it that. Brian Dable was still babying Josh Allen, which is understandable. He had a rough rookie season. but he still got us to the playoffs. And we barely lost to the Texans. The next season, Josh Allen got us to the AFC Championship game. He was runner up in MVP, and you're going to rank him 40th. It blows my mind that he's not at least in the top 15 in this list. There's some guys on that list, and I'm not going to read them all because it's crazy, that are ahead of him that shouldn't be. It's just blows my mind the disrespect that PFF does because they want to throw it back that, well, his rookie season, he was bad. So you're gonna bash him because of 2 years ago. So when we go to the Super Bowl this year and Josh Allen wins the MVP, what are you gonna say? And they're your stupid PFF 2022 top 50 list. Is he gonna be in your top 20 then? It's ridiculous. I just can't. I don't get it. I still don't get it. The Nick Wrights, the Skip Baylesses, they want to, like I always say this, they want to hold on to that to that draft that he was a bad pick, that he's gonna be a bad player in this league, and they want to be so right about that, and they want to put their blinders on. They want to see, any bad play he does, they make it's 100 times worse. They make it like he was the worst player on the field that day. Right? So the playoffs against the Colts when he fumbled the ball, we won the game. He actually played well. He didn't play great, but he played pretty well. What does Nick Wright say? He bashes him, right? He doesn't care that we won. First, home win since like the 90s. He doesn't say anything positive about him. He bashes him. And this is what Josh Allen's going to have to go through probably most of his career, even after he wins a Super Bowl, because I am sure those critics are still going to have something to say. And, unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do except for come on here, people like me, and defend our quarterback, which I will. And I've been defending him since he was a rookie because of the situation he was in. So that's that. Now, moving on. Dawson Knox going to the tight end university. Pretty cool. Pretty cool that there is a university for tight ends to improve their game. I wish that they had a university for every position, right? The running back university, the wide receiver university, because there's a lot of players that are like Dawson Knox that have potential but are struggling, and maybe they need that extra help to get them to where they need to be. Josh Allen does it every year. He goes with Palmer and in the offseason, and he works on his mechanics, and it shows. And every year Josh Allen comes back a better quarterback because he's busting his ass in the offseason. So listen, with Dawson Knox, I see the potential in Dawson Knox. I just feel like he I feel like he still needs this because I feel like in college he didn't get a lot of reps. Meaning, if you look at his numbers, he didn't get a lot of balls thrown to him because they had a hell of a receiving core. So, and then I think in high school, I think he only had like one touchdown because I think he played a different position or something like that. So he kind of is late in the game tight end. You know what I mean? Um, so this is going to be very helpful. When I watch Dawson Knox, I see really good plays from him, and then I see plays that he should make with ease, and he doesn't. And that's the disappointing part of Dawson Knox because you can't tell me since watching him come out as a rookie that he hasn't made some unbelievable plays that you're like, whoa, wow, what a catch! Or that dude just, he just ran somebody over. But then you watch another play and it's like he's dropping the ball with that's right there, man, or he's just going the wrong direction or he's missing a block. So this is going to help him. And it if he comes back this season and he's the same Dawson Knox that he was, unfortunately, he's going to have to go because we can't keep up. We can't keep thinking that Dawson Knox is going to get better because this is his chance right here. This is his chance to learn the game by some veterans that are unbelievable. I think Kelsey's in there. Obviously one of the best tight ends, probably is the best tight end in football. So if you can't learn from the best, then you're probably not going to do it. Probably it's just probably not for you. You'll be probably a backup tight end for the rest of your career. I hope that's not the case. Um, I do like our other tight end, Hollister. I, s- I saw some highlights of what he did in Seattle. Um, he looks promising, but is he the answer? No, probably not. And of course, there's the whole Zach Ertz situation going on. Will he be cut? Will the Bills finally trade for him? What do the Eagles even want for Zach Ertz? Bean's not going to give up a good draft pick for Zach Ertz. He's just not going to do it. Bean's smarter than that. That's why Bean is getting this team where we are today. Um, so there's no way that we're going to trade them a third round pick for an aging Zach Ertz. Though I will tell you, I like Zach Ertz. I think he could bring in at least a couple good season with us. Um, but has he declined in the past 2 years? Yes, for sure. He's not the Zach Ertz of 3 years ago. He's just not. Like those are facts. Okay. Is he better than Dawson Knox right now? Yes, of course. Of course it would be an upgrade. But if we don't get him, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think. We have enough receivers, and this is more, the way we play our offense is more, you know, receiver heavy. We don't really use our tight ends much. Now, is it we don't use our tight ends much because our tight ends don't make plays? Possible. So, but we'll see. But with the university thing, the tight end university that Dawson Knox is doing, you got to give him credit for that because he doesn't have to do this. He right now is chill time for these guys. That he could be home, he could be relaxing, but he knows he needs to step his game up, right? So that's good for him. And Bills fans should, be excited about Dawson Knox going above and beyond to improve his game. And hopefully it shows on Sundays. Now, the preseason. Normally, I am not a fan of preseason, like a big fan. You know, how do I put this? Usually, preseasons are kind of boring, except for game two and game three. I kind of like them. And I like them mainly for the rookies and the guys trying to make the team, right? The walk-ons or whatever. Or the guys from last season that we're trying to still see, hey, can this guy, you know, make the team? Whatever. Who are we gonna cut? Maybe this guy jumping over the it's interesting. It really is. And this season, there's only 3 preseason games, which makes it really interesting because these guys are all going to get their chance to show the coaches that they belong on the 53. Um, Now, there's some guys that I'm looking forward to in the preseason that I think have to show up in order to be on this team because uh, we're so full. We really are. We have a lot of talent on this team. And I'm going to start with the running back room. I'm going to start with Antonio Williams. Antonio Williams showed out against the Dolphins last season. A Dolphin team, by the way, that was pretty good on defense. They weren't a bad team. Matter of fact, if they beat us that year, they're a playoff team. They finished with 10 wins, even after the loss by us. 10 wins normally get you in the playoffs. But last season, there was a lot of good teams. They didn't make it because they couldn't beat us. We blew them out with our backups and our third stringers. Antonio Williams was basically a practice squad guy that we brought up. And he looked really solid against a good Dolphins defense, which, by the way, knew we were running it, and they still couldn't stop Antonio Williams. So now we didn't use him in the playoffs, which I understand why. Young guy, he only saw action against the Dolphins one game. There was no way McDermott was going to test those waters with a guy that has really no experience in the NFL. So this is preseason is very, very important for Antonio Williams because he is a change of pace running back compared to Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. He's much different. He kind of reminds me of Carlos Williams, his rookie season. He's a taller back, decent speed, and he runs up the middle. The thing with Singletary and Moss, that's not their style. They're more on the edge type running backs, and they're better on the edge, running to the edge. Which, like, I love when there's design plays for Singletary to the edge because he's very shifty. He can make the first guy miss with ease. But he's not a guy that's going to blast it up the middle, right? And break some tackles. He's just not that kind of player. So we need that type of player. And I think that's what we were trying to do in the championship game with TJ Yeldon, which was a mistake, by the way. But anyways, so that's very important for him in the preseason for Williams to show out if he wants to make this team. Because you got Devin Singletary, which many Bills fans are bashing this guy, which, by the way, they shouldn't. Because if you know anything about football and you watch football, his rookie season, he averaged 5 yards carry. He was tied with Derrick Henry for average per run. We barely used him the first, I think, 3 games. We didn't really even give him the ball much, and he still had over 700 yards rushing. A very good season for a guy that didn't really touch the ball much, and averaging 5 yards per carry. Now, last season, you guys, there's a lot to take in factor. 1, COVID, Corona. There was no preseason. There was no OTAs. Our offensive line was a disaster to start. Mongo was hurt. Mongo didn't even come back until like week 6 or something like that. We were mixing the offensive line all around. Brian Winters was in there. Who I don't even think the guy's on our team anymore. He was so bad. Okay, watch that team run blocking. It was a disaster. The pass blocking was decent in the beginning, and it got gradually better. And thank God, by the way, for Darrell Williams. What a great pickup that was. Because if we didn't pick him up last season, you want to talk about a shit show line? That would have been a total disaster if Darrell Williams wasn't in there. Because Cody Ford The pick that we took instead of DK Metcalf has been a nightmare. He can't stay healthy. We don't know where to put him on the field when he is healthy. So thank God for Dale Williams. Thank God. Then thank God for Mongo, who came back uh, and helped out the running game a little bit. Well, though by that point, we are already done trying to run the ball. We were a pass heavy team at that point because the running game wasn't working because the run blocking was bad. Now, I'm not saying that Devin Singletary didn't make some mistakes and didn't see some holes that he should have hit. Sure, of course. But you got to factor in a lot of that stuff too. Okay. So Bills fans who are bashing him right away are ridiculous. I think this season, Devin Singletary is going to bounce back. He's going to play a lot better. We have all of our offensive line coming back that are all healthy, by the way, all of them. And it's gonna. I think it's gonna show. I really believe that. Now, Zach Moss, who for some reason the fans jumped on Zach Moss, wanting him to start right away. A lot of fans, which was crazy to me because the guy never played in the NFL. I'm talking before we even played week 1. This was the conversation. There was no preseason. You didn't even get to see Zach Moss play at all. So how do you know? Zach Moss, he's good, but he's the same guy as Devin Singletary, except he's not as elusive. And that's true. Matter of fact, he fumbled a few times. That crucial fumbles, by the way. So it's not like he's this bulldozer who's not fumbling. He fumbled the ball a few times on big plays that could have cost us games. And I didn't see him running over anybody. He was trying to be elusive, just like Devin Singletary, and it didn't work. And then he got hurt. So coming into his second season off an injury, what do you think Zach Moss is going to be like? Okay. Then you got Matt Breida, who we just signed, who's a speedster. He's a change of pace because he's a speedster, but he's not a bulldozer guy, right? He's not an Antonio Williams, right? So he's not a Yeldon. He's not not going to go up the middle. He's just a change of pace, fast guy. That's it. Okay. So here's how I see it. Preseason is going to be a big deal for Antonio Williams and Zach Moss because I see it like Devin Singletary is going to be the starting running back. He's going to be the RB1, even though Sean McDermott wants a 2-back system. There's still always going to be the RB1 still going to get the most carries, the most time on the most snaps. I truly believe Devin Singletary is that guy. The number 2 can't be a Zach Moss, who's almost the same player as Devin Singletary. It won't work. So I think Matt Breida will probably be the RB2 or Antonio Williams. So that leaves who? Zach Moss, right? And as a third running back or Antonio Williams. Because I truly believe Breida is probably going to be the number 2. He's the change of pace. He's the speedster guy, right? Can't have all the same running back. It just won't work. So it's going to be interesting. Now, the cornerbacks. Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson showed some good and some not so good last season. I think he has a high ceiling. I still think he can do something really good on the field. Is he our number 2 right now? No, he's not. Levi Wallace is still our number 2. He's proven to be our number 2. He's our best number 2 option right now to back up Trey White, right? Those are just facts. He's earned that. And I really do. I like Levi Wallace. I think Levi Wallace is a good story. But I really hope also that next draft, McDermott and Bean go out and draft a quality good number two. And whatever happens to Levi, they'll do what they got to do. But right now, this season, Levi Wallace will be the number two. Now, Dane Jackson, though, he beat him out a few times last season because he played Levi Wallace. I just something about, here's my problem with Levi Wallace. He lacks a lot of speed. So he gives up a lot of distance when he's playing defense. And his problem is when he's doing that, he doesn't always catch up to the guy who just beat him. Sometimes he does, and he tips the ball away. But I've seen it multiple times where he doesn't, and the guy just burns past him. And that's a problem. The speed is a problem, especially against a Chiefs team. Okay. We have to have a speedy cornerback. So we'll see how Dane Jackson does. Now, the next, Marquez Stevenson, who I think was a phenomenal pick by Brandon Bean. Round 6. That was awesome pick. This guy played for Houston. He had, I believe, almost 3 1,000 yards seasons. I believe that's correct. He averaged like 15 yards a catch. This guy has blazing speed. I really truly believe this preseason, if he shows out on those kick returns and punt returns, he will be our kick returner or punt returner. Because right now it's Isaiah McKenzie's job, right? But I still feel like McDermott and Bean or McDermott, the coaching staff, whatever, are still a little shaky when it comes to McKenzie returning kicks. Yes, and there's another guy that, thank you, Breaking Tables, Brian, that I do want to mention, and he brought up a good point. And I'm sorry I haven't really looked at the comments. I just looked over now. I'll get to them. But Christian Wade, he's very interesting to me. I think he would be a really good kick returner. I just do. I think he has the speed. He played rugby. I mean, those guys are super durable and strong. I think running back position right now, I just feel like he's still learning a lot as far as the game, the NFL game. I think the kick return game is something that he can catch on. I don't think it's, as deep as like a running back in the playbook and all that other stuff. It would be really interesting to see Christian Wade in the preseason with Marquez Stevenson too, getting kick returns and punt returns. I would love to see it because I'm telling you now, Christian Wade, when he gets into the open field, that dude is gone. You saw it in the preseason a couple seasons ago. Once he sees daylight, he is gone. That dude is fast. And I didn't see no fumbling issue. I just saw that he was a little confused sometimes on like who's blocking for him. But they could teach him that. And I would hope that the coaching staff, since the running back room is so full right now, that they would give Christian Wade an opportunity to do some kick returns in preseason. There's 3 of them, 3 games. We got 3 games. There's no reason for our starters to be out there on a 17-game season, risking injury. There's no reason for it, right? So give these young guys, right, the Antonio Williams, the Christian Wades, the Marquez Stevensons, the Dane Jacksons, all these other guys trying to make the team, give them an opportunity to earn their spot on this team. And it'll be interesting. I really can't wait for this preseason because there's like I said, we have a full team. We have so many good players. Even our backups are damn good. Our backups beat a Miami Dolphins team who was trying to get into the playoffs, right? Playoffs, yes. And they beat them beat them bad. So what does that tell you? We have a deep, deep roster, and it's gonna suck when we have to cut these guys, some of these guys, because I like almost every single player on this team. I do. I really honestly do. I see them all having potential, except, and you guys are gonna hate me for this because he's a good guy, but Harrison Phillips is on the bubble, man. He's skating on some thin freaking ice. Um, you know, I just feel like the guy can't stay healthy. When he is healthy, he's not very productive out there. He had a decent rookie season. Now, a lot of people say he had a great rookie season. He did not have a great rookie season. He had a decent rookie season, and he's declined since, and he can't stay healthy. So who do you got right now in defensive tackle? Who's starting right now? So let's say we know Star for sure, right? We need Star back. It's clear that we need Star back. Thank God Star is back, because last season, that was a total disaster for the defensive tackle position. I had no idea that Star made such a difference when he's off the field. I mean, my God. So thank God he's back. So Ed Oliver could shift over and play the position where he's more comfortable. And I think you're also going to see a better season, by the way, from Ed Oliver, because Star's back. So you know those two right now, right? Star, Ed. Then you got Vernon Butler, who played pretty well last season. He was probably one of our bright spots for the defensive tackle position. Justin Zimmer, who came on late to the team and was a spark. And then you got horrible Harry, who did nothing. Nothing. Even Zimmer, who came in late, made the play of the game versus New England and cost Cam Newton a fumble. Now, I'm not even, are we could say, what did horrible Harry do? Did horrible Harry make a phenomenal play that you could think of right now? Let's just say the past 2 seasons. Think of a play. Any play that you can say, man, thank God for Phillips on that play. I don't remember, because it's not there. He's not productive, and he's constantly hurt. And I like the guy. He's a good guy, really good guy, does a lot for charity. But man, like, dude, you got to show out in this preseason, because I think he's going to make the team, but man, I don't know. Zimmer could beat him out, and if that's the case, Harrison Phillips could be gone, and it is what it is. And I don't think many Buffalo Bills fans will be crying. You know, they're going to probably say the same thing I did. Great guy, good luck to you. Just the way it is, man. So I feel like he's one of the guys that is just skating on ice, man. Him, I would say Dawson Knox. They're not going to cut Knox, but I can see him cutting him next season if you don't do nothing after tight end university. You know what I mean? Like, I could definitely see that happening. So yeah, that's preseason is going to be interesting for these guys. 100% sure. Also, Jake Fromm. I don't see him being on the team. Do we need Jake Fromm? I mean, I wasn't a fan of that draft pick. I don't, guy's slow as hell. Like, he's just average arm. You know, just what does he do for this team? Really? Just send him packing, man. Like, we got our backup. We got a hell of a backup at Trubisky. We don't need a freaking Jake Fromm clogging up the 53-man roster or the practice squad. I mean, honestly, even the practice squad, my God, we could probably have a better practice squad player than Jake Fromm, you know. Now, the wide receiver room, by the way, is packed. Packed. And that's an interesting one, too. when this 53 man gets cut, because there's going to be some guys once again that fans probably going to be like, damn, that sucks. Duke Williams, he's more than likely gone, and I'm a big Duke Williams fan, by the way. Love Duke Williams, love the story, but we're too packed, and unfortunately, he can't get on the field because we just have too much talent. So we know Diggs is starting. Diggs is the man. We know Cole's going to be there, right? I hope. God, I hope. Right? We know Gabe Davis for sure. Isaiah Hodgins, the coaching staff loves this guy. I cannot wait. That's another player, by the way, for preseason. I cannot wait to see what Isaiah Hodgins does because, boy, oh boy, does the coaching staff really hype this guy up since last season. I was super excited to see Isaiah Hodgins last season, and unfortunately got hurt. But supposedly this guy catches everything. He's 6'3" too, by the way. He's tall. So he's gonna make the team unless he's just god awful. Excuse me, unless he's god awful in the preseason, which I don't see that happening because apparently the guy catches everything. So that's that right there, right? Then you got Isaiah McKenzie, who they just signed. And I don't think he's going anywhere because he's like our little Swiss Army knife. He does the jet sweeps. He does, he's our speedster guy on the outside. Don't forget Emmanuel Sanders, who we just signed, who's going to be, by the way, pretty damn good receiver for Josh Allen. He's a hell of a route runner. I miss John Brown. Don't get me wrong. Thank God John Brown came on this team in 2019 because we really needed receiving help. But I'm going to tell you now, Emmanuel Sanders is by far a better receiver than John Brown. And I love John Brown. But Emmanuel Sanders altogether is a way better route runner. I think right now he's probably faster than John Brown. I think John Brown lost a step even before his knee injury. So that was a huge upgrade for us. And that's a huge thing for Josh Allen to have another guy that could just get open whenever. That's huge. I don't think many Bills fans really understand how big of a pickup that was. And he wanted to be here last season, but we just couldn't get him on the team. So you're talking about a guy who's hyped up to be in Buffalo, who's proven to be effective in this league, who has a Super Bowl, by the way, who had multiple 1,000 yards. This guy's going to be damn good. So we have a deep receiving. Then you got, by the way, touchdown Jesus, Jake Kumaro. We have a deep roster, man. A deep roster. So receiving, there's going to be some guys cut and or gone to the practice squad, picked up by other teams because that's other teams' rights. They could pick up our practice squad guys. That's the way it works. Look at Jake Kumaro. He was picked up. Remember, we had him, put him on a practice squad. He was picked up, I believe, by the Saints. And then they cut him, which I don't get it. But anyways, so moving on. The new stadium. Our new stadium, Highmark Stadium. Can't stand the name. Highmark. Oh, God. I went over this last week. By the way, I deleted my YouTube video. I don't know how the hell I did that. It was an accident. So I'll go over this again since I deleted it. I can't stand these goofy ass names. Highmark Stadium, SoFi Stadium, AT&T Stadium, the Hard Rock Casino Stadium. Like, I get we need like the money or whatever, the sponsorship. But my God, man, they're just so terrible, man. They're so goofy. I just want to go to Buffalo Bills Stadium, man. Like, or just put it as the owner's name, man, like it always used to be back in the day. That's why I still love some of these teams that hold on to their original stadium names. I don't know, man. I like it better. But anyways, so they're talking about building a new stadium, and I think the mayor or something said, "Whoa, hold on, we never discussed this." I don't know what the Bagools are talking about, but we haven't approved jack shit. So there ain't no deal in place. So I truly believe they almost kind of put that story out there because the whole Colt thing was going on to kind of put the Colt thing under the rug and get us fans like focused on the new stadium that isn't even in place because they haven't had any kind of deal going right now. So it's kind of funny to me. But I have a debate with a lot of people on this, and a lot of people really hate my opinion on this. But if we do get a new stadium, I already heard it's going to be an open air stadium. And listen, I get it. We have history and it's home field advantage. And you got the wind and you got the snow and you got the freezing cold weather. But we're not that team. We're not built that we're this team is not the 90 Bills, man. We are not built that way. Marv Levy is not our coach. He is not hyping these guys up for this cold weather, 40-mile-per-hour wind football game. Ask the players. The players have been interviewed multiple times. If they had a choice, they would prefer a dome stadium. Now, I'm not saying a dome has to be a dome, but God, I would love like a retractable roof or something. I mean, I just feel like we play so much better on the road and better environments. And I get it. Okay, it's home field. These teams got to come to us. They got to play in the snow. They got to play. They got to get used to that wind. But so does our guys. I mean, you think Tyler Bass is used to the winds? Did you see some of his kicks in the winds last year? Did you see Josh Allen playing at home sometimes and the ball just goes 20 yards past the receiver because the wind picked it up? It hurts both teams. We're not a running team. If we were more of a running team, like the Titans, let's just say we had a Derrick Henry and we're just bulldozing teams. Fine. All right. When we have those kind of games, you just hand it off to Henry and he can just bulldoze his way and chew up the clock and we win that way. Okay, fine. But my God, a snow game, we win 10-7, 13-10. It's just like, I mean, it's fun being there, but I mean, for the players, it's like, I don't know, man. How fun is it? Like these guys are like freezing their asses off. They're having a tough time gripping the ball. They're having a tough time throwing the ball. They're having a tough time catching the ball. I mean, there's just so much to it. So I would 100% want a dome or a retractable roof when it's, and I'm not saying when it's a nice day, you don't open, of course you open the roof on a nice day. But, and of course, there's other people telling me, well, there's other state teams with retractable roofs. They keep them open all the time. Yeah, because it's in freaking Arizona or wherever they are. They're in Miami. They're in great towns with good weather. Like, there's no winds that are going 40 miles per hour. Like, it's just not happening. And Buffalo wind is totally different. Everybody knows that. Gone to the game. It's totally, everybody knows that. I love when it says, when you're watching the game, 9 mile per hour winds, and the poles are shaking all over the place. And the announcers are like, there is no freaking way. That's 9 miles per hour. It's impossible. So, anyways, that's my view on the stadium. If they build one, which they're not going to do, like they're not going to do a retractable roof or a dome because it's more money. But whatever. I'm happy they're going to build a new stadium. I hope to God that it's close to the old stadium. And if they don't, I guess they'll just have to keep renovating the Rich Stadium, Buffalo Bills Stadium, because I'm not going to call it Highmark. I'm watching the Highmark Stadium, New Era Field. I'm not going to call it that. I'm just going to call it Bill Stadium. All right. And folks, I appreciate you guys watching. It has been 55 minutes, and I am so sorry. Let me see if I have any of the. I'm new to this, by the way. It's my first pretty much live. So I did not read any of the chats, and I apologize. Position battle, iron sharpening. Yes, 100%. Iron sharpens arms. Correct. Yeah. So, listen, I want to thank everybody. And I'm sorry for the chat thing. I will get better with that answering chats when I see them. I apologize. I'm new to this. I'm solo. So, anyways, hey guys, thank you again. I'm gonna try to do this every Saturday at 8. No, not I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do this every Saturday at 8 p.m. Okay. I did this one at 8:30 today. I scheduled 8:30 and I couldn't even figure out how the hell to open the schedule that I did. So I'm never going to do that again. Saturdays at 8 I'm going to be here live. And usually I'm going to do about an hour show, 45 minutes to an hour. Maybe in the future I'll have some guests on. That'll be cool. I also do a podcast with Breaking Tables podcast, Brian. Um, and I got some other stuff in the works, hopefully. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Bills Mafia #1. Peace. Peace.